At his peak, Pablo Escobar was spending $2,500 per month on rubber bands, just rubber bands, to wrap the cash. His organization was bringing in so much money that they couldn't count it fast enough, so they weighed it instead. They lost an estimated 10% of their annual revenue, about $500 million, to rats eating the bills in storage, to water damage, and to simple accounting errors. $500 million a year lost, and it didn't matter because Pablo Escobar's Medellín cartel was earning an estimated $60 million per day. This isn't a story about a drug lord. This is a story about what happens when a business gets so big that its logistics problems become more interesting than the product itself. In the 1980s, the Medellín cartel controlled approximately 80% of the cocaine entering the United States. They were shipping 15 tons of cocaine per day. Let me put that in context for you. 15 tons is the weight of about 3 elephants every single day, arriving in the United States via submarines, private planes, commercial shipping containers, and human couriers. Arriving in the United States via submarines, private planes, commercial shipping containers, and human couriers. And every kilo of that cocaine was purchased in Colombia for about $1,500 and sold in Miami for $50,000. That markup from $1,500 to $50,000 is 3,233%. For comparison, Apple's markup on an iPhone is about 40%. Nike's is about 100. At that margin, with that volume, the money was staggering. Forbes listed Escobar as the 7th richest man on earth in 1989 with an estimated personal fortune of $30 billion. That's more than the GDP of most African nations, more than the GDP of Iceland, Jamaica, and Nepal combined. And this is where the economics get genuinely weird, because Escobar's biggest challenge wasn't the DEA, it wasn't rival cartels, it wasn't even the Colombian government. His biggest challenge was the cash. When you earn $60 million a day in small bills, you have a storage problem. Escobar buried money in fields, he hid it in walls, he stored it in warehouses where the bills would rot and get eaten by rats. He lost approximately $500 million per year to spoilage alone and considered it an acceptable business expense. His accountants tried to deposit money in banks, but even corrupted banks have limits. So they bought businesses, taxi companies, car dealerships, restaurants, construction firms. They didn't buy them to make money, but to lose it, to run dirty cash through the register and turn it into clean revenue. And here's a question for you. If you were making $60 million a day and you couldn't spend it fast enough and you couldn't store it safely and you were losing $500 million a year to rats, would you stop? Escobar didn't stop. He scaled up. He bought a private zoo with hippos, giraffes, and elephants. He built a personal prison, La Catedral, that was more like a resort, complete with a football pitch, a bar, and a helicopter pad. He offered to pay off Colombia's entire national debt, $10 billion, in exchange for immunity from prosecution. Let me break down the actual supply chain, because this is where it stops being a crime story and becomes a logistics case study. Stage 1, coca farming. Thousands of Colombian farmers grew coca leaves. The cartel bought the raw product at fixed prices. Stage 2, processing. Jungle laboratories converted coca leaves into cocaine paste, then into cocaine hydrochloride. These labs could process hundreds of kilos per day. Stage 3, transportation. This was Escobar's genius. He invested in infrastructure the way Amazon invests in warehouses. He purchased submarines, actual submarines, that could carry 2,000 kilos per trip. Stage 4, distribution. In the US, the cartel operated through regional distributors in Miami, New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. Each had a cartel-appointed distributor. Stage 5, cash collection and laundering. The cash flowed back through the same channels: couriers, wire transfers, shell companies, and corrupted banks. The cartel's organizational chart looked like a multinational corporation. There were departments, specializations, performance metrics. Escobar even had a security department. He ran it like a CEO. Now, I've been talking about this like a business case study, and that's deliberate because when we strip away the mythology, what's left is a logistics operation that killed approximately 4,000 people. Escobar bombed a commercial airliner, Avianca Flight 203, killing 107 people because he believed a presidential candidate was on board. The candidate wasn't on the plane. He orchestrated the assassination of 3 presidential candidates, a justice minister, dozens of judges, and hundreds of police officers. He bombed the headquarters of Colombia's secret service, killing 63 people. The economic cost to Colombia was catastrophic. Foreign investment collapsed. Tourism disappeared. The country's GDP growth stalled for a decade. Colombia's per capita income didn't recover for nearly 15 years after his death. 30 billion in personal wealth. And it cost an entire country its economic future. Escobar was killed by Colombian security forces on a rooftop in Medellín on December 2nd, 1993. Most of his fortune was never recovered. And the cocaine trade, it didn't stop. It didn't even slow down. The Cali cartel took over. Then the Mexican cartels. The product changed. The routes changed. But the economics, exactly the same. 60 million a day. 500 million lost to rats. A personal zoo with hippos. An offer to pay off a country's national debt. And 4,000 people dead. That's the economics of Pablo Escobar. Not the myth, the math. Next time, I'm going to take you inside the country where kidnapping isn't a crime. It's a career. Follow Economics with Idris. One more episode left in this series.